So running the wheel on cheap wheel strategy stocks sounds like it should be easier than running it on an expensive one, right? Lower share price, we got lower collateral required, lower risk, and that's the assumption. And it's only partially right, but only if you understand which part of the risk actually goes down and which part stays exactly the same. Listen, the price of a stock has nothing to do with the quality of the business underneath it, okay? I think you know that. A $7 stock isn't safer than a $70 stock. It might be riskier, and the wheel strategy on low quality underlying doesn't become conservative just because the dollar amounts are a little bit smaller. The discipline is the same. Some of the traps are actually unique to this price range though. So here's kind of the reality of running the wheel on a stock, let's say under $10 a share. One standard options contract controls 100 shares, as we all know. Collateral for a cash secured put equals the strike price multiplied by 100. So 650 strike, your collateral requirement is $650 per contract, and that's accessible for almost any account size, and it's a genuine appeal of this price range, okay? The flip side though is what that low price often signals. Stocks under $10 fall into a few distinct categories. Some are quality businesses going through some temporary pressure, a sector rotation, a macro headwind, a management transition, right? They have real assets, real cash flow, and a real likelihood of recovery though. Others are structurally impaired though. High debt, declining revenues, limited competitive moat, and the low price reflects the market's honest assessment of the risk. And a third category is volatile growth or on speculative names with literally no consistent earnings, like where the stock trades on complete sentiment more than the actual fundamentals of the company. And the wheel strategy behaves very different across those three categories, right? And understanding which one you're looking at before you sell the first put is what separates somebody who's disciplined, right, from making an expensive lesson. And the filter I apply before running the wheel on any stock under 10 bucks starts with a really important question. If I'm assigned and this stock drops another 20%, does the business still make sense to actually hold? And that question eliminates most of the bad candidates immediately. A speculative name with no earnings and a chart driven by social media momentum doesn't pass. A leveraged company with deteriorating cash flow doesn't pass. What passes is a business that generates real revenue, has a track record of operating through difficult periods, and whose low share price reflects a specific identifiable problem rather than a general collapse in the business quality. The second filter is options market quality. Low-priced stocks often have thin options chains, limited open interest, wide bid-ask spreads, and sometimes no contracts available at the strike that would make mechanical sense in our situation. A stock trading at $8 with a bid-ask spread of 40 cents on the nearest put is not a viable wheel candidate regardless of how attractive that underlying looks. You're literally paying 5% in transaction friction before the trade even starts. And if you are interested to see my full Ark Options strategy, how I combine 5 sources of income into one simple option strategy that takes about an hour a week, if that, click the first link in the description of today's video. There's a 90-minute training there waiting for you, and at the end I give you my 2 premium calculators as well as my full trade lock template completely for free just for attending. So click that first link in the description of today's video. Now pass both filters and you have a genuine candidate in my opinion. Fail either one and the low price is not enough of a benefit in my opinion to justify an entry. But let's talk about the spread problem, all right? Let me make the options market quality issue really concrete because it's the most commonly overlooked obstacle in this kind of price range. On a stock trading at $8.50, the 30 delta put might sit around $7.50 strike. If the bid on that option is 18 cents and the ask is 32, you're looking at a 14-cent spread. To get filled, you'll likely sell somewhere around 22 to 25 cents, roughly the midpoint. That's not terrible in absolute terms, but on $750 in collateral commitment, you're netting maybe 2.5% to 3% for that cycle. But here's the hidden cost. If the position moves against you and you need to buy it back to close, you're again paying the spread. On a position that's now worth 55 cents to buy back, you might pay 58 cents or 60 cents depending on where the market is. The round friction sub $10 options is proportionally larger on a higher price stocks with tighter change, so you gotta size accordingly. But let's talk about assignment scenarios in this range. Assignment on a sub $10 stock creates a very specific dynamic really worth understanding before it happens not after. If you're assigned at 750 on a stock that's now trading at 620, the covered call phase presents a narrow set of viable strikes for you. Selling covered calls at $7, right, below your cost basis, locks in a loss if the stock actually gets called away. Selling at 8 requires a 29% recovery before you'd exit at a break even, and the premium at that distance is almost nothing. The middle option, a covered call, let's say at 750 or 8, generates really modest premium with slow cost basis grind that could take 4 to 6 months of continuous execution. This is the realistic covered call trajectory on a cheap assigned stock. It just is. It's manageable on quality business with real recovery potential. On a declining business, though, it's a slow extraction with each covered call barely keeping pace with the ongoing erosion that the stock's facing. So what does a good price range look like? Well, the category where sub $10 wheel setups make the most mechanical sense is quality businesses that have been sold down by sector rotation or macro sentiment, not fundamental deterioration, okay? A dividend-paying industrial company that's pulled back from $18 to $9 because energy costs compress margins, right? But whose core business and customer relationships are completely intact has a different risk profile than a speculative tech name that's never had positive cash flow. The former might have a reasonably liquid options chain, a real dividend that continues to arrive, and a plausible path back to 12 or 13 as conditions actually normalize. The wheel on that kind of setup, buying more of a business you already believe in at a significant discount, has a logic that stands up, okay? The signal that a sub $10 name is in this category, it was meaningfully higher 12 to 18 months ago, it still generates positive cash flow, and the reason for the decline is sector-wide rather than company-specific. The wheel strategy on stocks under $10 is not a beginner shortcut. It's a disciplined approach to a specific corner of the market that rewards preparation and honestly punishes laziness in the selection process more than honestly the standard wheel on higher priced names, okay? The lower collateral requirement is real, sure, but it comes with thinner options chains usually, wider spreads, and a category of underlying stocks that require way more careful analysis, not less. The small dollar amount can make mistakes feel smaller in the moment. Over many cycles, though, the same mistakes compound just as significantly as they would on a $50 stock. And the investors who run this part of their wheel, well, treat it the same way that they treat any position. Quality first filter, options market quality second. Position size calibrated to what they'd actually be comfortable holding through assignment as well. The $7 stock that passes both filters deserves the same analysis as the $70 stock. The one that doesn't pass those filters isn't an opportunity just because it's cheap. Some questions for you guys in the comments. I want to hear this, okay? Have you tried running the wheel strategy on stocks under $10? And was the bid-ask spread on those options changed tighter or wider than you actually expected going in? I know I made a lot of mistakes here. And 2, is there a specific sub $10 name that you've been watching as a potential wheel strategy candidate? Drop it down below. And also make sure you attend the Ark Options Strategy workshop. Perfect for those of you getting into this amazing world of running the wheel strategy. I reverse engineered it a bit more and added some additional income streams into it, and I call it the Ark Options Strategy. So if you're interested in learning about it and you're interested in potentially joining our OSS Mastermind, our Option Starter School Mastermind, which is such a cool community, we talk all things options all day long. I talk about that a little bit at the end of that presentation. So click that first link in the description of today's video, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.